Hello, everyone. I wanted to speak to you all today about seeing life through spiritual eyes. We were all born spiritual, and for whatever reasons, we have disconnect from that spiritual power or our spiritual selves. And I want to encourage you at this time to help you to get reconnected to your spiritual self. There are several scriptures that come to mind when I think about our spiritual awakening and our spiritual power. The first scripture that comes to mind is 2 Peter 1 and 3. God has given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. Through Him, God called us to excellence. And sometimes, again, as we get disconnected from that higher self, we think that we're not worthy of spiritual gifts or God being able to use us through Him. But God has given us all things that pertains to life and godliness through Him. So my second scripture that comes to mind is Philippians 4:13. And I'm pretty sure that most of us are familiar with this scripture, and that is that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Now, that is a spiritual affirmation. It's not physical, because in the physical sense, all things does not mean all things. If one was born without sight, he can't see. If one was born without legs, then he can't walk. Same with hearing, he can't hear. But when we're born spiritually without sight, we can see way into the stratosphere. If you're born, and when you're born spiritually, as I said, we get disconnected. I can do all things. You can walk, you can hear, you can talk, you can fly, because it's a spiritual affirmation that I could do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And that third scripture that comes to mind is Ephesians 6:11-21, that we have to put on the whole armor of God so that we might be able to fight against the wiles of the devil. It's a spiritual warfare that we're under. I have to remind myself as I go about my daily walk, and I want to encourage you all to do the same thing, because we're on a spiritual journey. I question if I have my helmet on, if I have my breastplate, if I have my sword, my shield, because of this spiritual warfare that we're in and on the spiritual journey. We're going to encounter physical situations. So I encourage you all to reimagine yourself having a rebirth. Reimagine yourself having the vision to see past your faults and your fears and in anything that may hinder you from going to your destiny. You have to reimagine yourself being fearless and being able to walk on water and being able to just do all things as the scripture says, because it is a spiritual affirmation. Fear is, again, as I mentioned before, false evidence appearing real. But when you're centered and grounded in truth, that false evidence appearing real is gone, because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So my challenge to you today, in order to restore your sight, in order to restore your vision, you have to remove the blinders. You have to get out of your way and think higher than yourself. Think higher than your physical self and put on your spiritual goggles so that you can move mountains and so that you can conquer this world. It's not easy, but we have to run this race with patience. Our spiritual journey is not easy, and we have to stay connected and stay centered in that higher self, in that higher power, so we can move mountains, so that God can use us in a way that is so moving and so profound and so powerful that we think that we are walking on waters. So stay connected, get out of your way, and as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think that you're broke, everything about you will feel broken. Everything about you, everything around you will feel broken. So use the word challenged. And that's all it will be, is a challenge for you to change the way you see things, the way life has a way of allowing us or making us see things with our physical eye. But now it's time to have a rebirth and a reseasoning, and we have to silence the noise that's in our heads so that we can move past the physical and get into our spiritual selves, so that we can reach higher heights and reach people and go places that we've never gone before. So stay connected, stay centered, and make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people who can help you to stay centered and focused so you can reach your highest spiritual potential. Remember, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me is a spiritual affirmation, and I am so happy to encourage you to see life through spiritual eyes. And that's all for now. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, and also pass this information on to other people who may be struggling spiritually to get reconnected. Bye for now. Take care of yourselves, and remember, stay centered